Being a person of few words is not a determinant of whether you did a good job, and allow me to explain. So, as a real estate agent, and as any major industry, we want referrals from your friends and family. And how do we generally do that? We do a good job for you, and you a lot of times will provide us a review on Google or otherwise. And so sometimes people get a little bit put on the spot. They don't know what to say, or they're like, I don't really know how to go about this. They don't really, they're a person that, I guess naturally, a lot of people will raise their hand when they have a shit experience, but when they have a good experience, we're not trained to give that feedback, right? We're not trained to say, good job, always. And at least that's not how I was raised. I didn't come from that kind of home. But anyways, when I had worked with Rhonda and her family, I had done a number of deals for them. So Rhonda and her husband, I worked with them mostly, but what ended up, who the actual person that I was working for was Rhonda's mother-in-law, so her husband's mom. And she was elderly, she was in her 90s, fierce Hungarian lady, really sweet lady, but didn't take any BS. And so I had sold her house a few years back. I had helped her get a condo, which was going to be closer to her children, which all lived in Mississauga. And then unfortunately, she fell ill, and there was not going to be a recovery part of that process. And so the family asked me to come back in and sell that condo. And we did so in a very challenging market. Things were very slow, especially condos. Lots of condo nonsense in the media about condos not selling and everything else. And yes, in this case, they did take a loss on the condo over what they paid for it 4 years prior. But I always say to people, I would rather tell you the truth. Of course, who doesn't want the truth? But I always say this, is I would rather have you disappointed in me now than mad at me later. And so in this case, unfortunately, the happy and unhappy ending is they actually took about $100,000 hit on this property from what they paid for it. But at the end of the day, the condo was going to sit vacant. They didn't want to rent it. They didn't want any of that nonsense. And they just wanted to dispose of it in a sales kind of way. And they just put the whole thing behind them. And very soon after, Rhonda's mother-in-law passed away. So timing worked out really well in this case. And in the text is what she had to say about our time working together.